wanted to talk about zero waste and the circular economy, and we actually do have a circular economist in the audience here, Tom Wright. So I'm just a shout out to Tom. Some of these may be his slides, I think. But just to remind you, Gary presented the zero waste hierarchy of highest and best use. And just to remind you, the whole purpose of zero waste is really to reduce reliance on resource extraction and landfilling of our discarded materials and maximize redesign, rethinking, and just living more lightly on the earth. And you'll be hearing a little bit from Amanda Waddell about what we can all do as individuals, but this is really more about what we're doing in the whole economy. So just to remind you that, we do want to rethink, redesign, reduce before we reuse, recycle, compost, etc. And why do we want to do that? This is a slide from the Ellen MacArthur Foundation that is really working hard with communities to introduce the concept of circularity. And this really shows two cycles. One is really called the biological cycle. We can call these cycles nutrients. We really want to bring those nutrients back into the soil. This is a newish concept in in the US, in that we really need to focus on our soil. So much of our farming and ranching has been using petrochemicals and other artificial fertilizers, but we're now really recognizing, and Mike went into this with regards to carbon farming and what we can really do by investing in our soil, by taking our biological nutrients and bringing them back into the soil. So it's a more of a closed system, a closed loop system for our biological nutrients. Well, we do the same thing with our technical nutrients, our glass, our plastic, our metals, and things that we mine from the earth. We can really keep those into the circular economy by continuing to design them for reuse and recycling. So that's really the concept about a circular economy, to both keep those cycles going, keep the reduce the amount of new extraction that we have to do, and really provide more vibrancy, new jobs, more of a caring and sustainable economy. Here's another picture. We think there should not really be any off ramps in the circular economy for the time being. I think Chris had mentioned in the chat that there are a few things that we don't have a solution for: the kitty litter and the some of the hazardous materials that Rick mentioned. But right now, treated wood, can't put that in the landfill in California. So I don't know what you're going to do with that. But there are some things that we still need to figure out. There are some legacy materials that we created that we don't know what to do with. But most of what we're still dealing with, most of the stuff that we generate, that we still have, that's in the garbage cans or that, is recyclable or compostable. So I think that, in zero waste circles, we like to say we're zero waste or darn close. We don't have that standard of perfection quite yet. We're still working towards that standard of perfection. And we also talk about how zero wasters, we're always happy, never satisfied. So there's always more stuff to do on that journey to zero waste. I want to take the opportunity to remind you that you are now a part of the Zero Waste Associates training. You only have 2 more classes to do, and you get to be a certified Zero Waste Associates. I will be putting in the chat that if you would like to get a certificate of completion for the Introduction to Zero Waste, which, by the way, is a prerequisite to the Zero Waste Associates training course, I'll be putting that in the chat. You take the quiz, you fill out the evaluation, and then you are invited to participate in the Zero Waste Principles and Tools class and the Zero Waste Associates class, which is basically you're going to learn how to develop your own zero waste plan for your business, for your community, for your institution. We invite you to participate. So with that, I'm going to turn it back to you, Rick.